do my best to explain the process. All right, so I have ground chicken here. We have about 3 pounds of ground chicken. So in my estimation, 3 pound of ground chicken will take like about like one whole onion like this, like the purple onions. And usually I take green onion, or if you can find green garlic, that's even better. Maybe for five, what do you call it? 4 or 5 of these, right? And cabbage. If you have cabbage, that will work great. So I had this whole cabbage, maybe about 40% of that cabbage, and some garlic and some ginger, right? So what we're gonna, and one tomato will be okay for this. So what we're gonna do here, first step is I've got the meat. So I'm gonna put the onion and the cabbage in the processor so that they're finely minced, chopped, right? Very, very finely chopped. I'm gonna hand chop these into small pieces, and same thing with the tomato. Just use my knife to chop it. And for the garlic and ginger, we're gonna make it into a paste and put all that in the meat, right? All right, so done with all the chopping and prepping. So this is how it looks. Green onions fine like this, and ginger garlic all minced in together, with onions finely chopped, tomatoes finely chopped, and cabbage on the bottom here. Correction from the first video, only ended up using about 30% of the cabbage. So yeah, so from what I showed originally, only used like about 70% of what I showed in the video. All right, so the purpose of why we are using all these is like the green onions and the purple onions kind of give the flavor and the smell to the meat. The tomato and the cabbage gives the right texture and the juiciness to the meat. Ginger garlic is for the taste. All right, on to the next one. All right, time for the spices, on what spices to use. So we'll start with salt, cumin, coriander powder, chili flakes. This is regular chicken curry or meat masala. This one is momo masala, especially from Nepal, but you can find it in any Nepali or Indian grocery store, right? If you ask me, momo masala is not exactly essential, but it will definitely enhance the flavor. Okay. So those were the spices. Now, how much to put on the meat? So this is the part where I am not very good at. So I'll try my best to explain it in terms of teaspoons and tablespoons. So I'll start off with soy sauce, right? So just to add a little bit of soy sauce. I don't know how much this is, like maybe 2 teaspoons of it. So just start off with that, and then some lime juice, maybe 1 tablespoon of it, just depending on your flavor, right? Then I'll start with salt. Salt, be very careful, don't add it right away. Just, I'll say start start less, and then you can always increase it later, right? Start with, for this 3-pound meat, I would say start with 2 tablespoons of salt. So that's good. With coriander powder, you cannot go wrong with this. So you can go either 2 or 3 teaspoons of this. Okay. Chili flakes, again, depending on your level of how much you can handle spiciness in the household, I would say 1 or 2 tablespoons or teaspoon. You remember the sauce is going to be spicy. So this one is your chicken curry masala. So you don't want to go too much over on this. So I would say about 1 or 2 teaspoons of these. And then your cumin powder, again, not too much of this cumin powder. I'll go very light, maybe 1 spoon or 1.5 spoon of cumin powder, because that's going to give like a very distinct smell. And momo masala, you know, you can't go wrong with this. So maybe go 1 or 2 teaspoons of this. Okay, that's about it. On to the next one. So after we put all that, so you just mix it up real quick, real nice, evenly. Okay, over and out. All right, so now for our next bit for the meat. So we are going to put about 4 tablespoons of butter. So this is for 3 pounds of meat, right, on a saucer. The reason why we are doing that is to give that juiciness to the meat. Otherwise, with chicken, what happens is like the meat tends to go dry. Right, with this, we'll be back in a few seconds. All right, now the butter is all melted. Now what we're gonna do is put about 1 teaspoon of turmeric on it. The reason why we're doing this is because the turmeric is gonna give nice color to the meat and also a little bit of flavor. Okay, over and out. All right, after the butter is all melted with the turmeric, just pour it on the meat. It gives you that sizzling noise. Just love that. All right, now mix it up again. All right, this is what it looks like after mixing with the butter and the turmeric. So just take a little bit of it and put it in like a plate and put it in your microwave for like 15 to 20 seconds. What this will do is like this will give you an idea of how the meat is tasting, or if you want to add more salt, help you balancing the flavor of the meat. All right. Okay, the microwave test was a success. The salt and the flavors are all good, exactly like how we want it. So the meat is ready to be wrapped. Now for the sauce, what we're gonna do is we start with broiling some tomatoes. My wife picked out 6 for today. We want some green chilies, fresh garlic mince, ginger, purple onions, and cilantro, and some roasted peanuts if you like that. So take a saucer pan, about 2 tablespoons of oil for frying.
1 tablespoon.
And we start with onions and throw some garlic and gingers on it, and then we'll put some spices onto the next.
So now adding a turmeric powder like a half teaspoon, and coriander powder like 1 tablespoon, and a tiny bit. Cumin like less than 1 full teaspoon, and a little bit of red chili powder. It's like Kashmiri, just for a color. A little bit, like almost 1 teaspoon, and mix it well. Like 5 green chilies, adding some salt to taste.
Careful while adding salt.
And adding all those roasted tomatoes.
Broiled
and peeled.
Broiled and peeled. And frying them all together.
Cooking them for a little bit. Also adding some, this is a Szechuan pepper, and any Nepali achar is incomplete without this. So adding like a couple of those to this to add more flavor, and just cook it well until it's ready to blend.
So after cooking the tomatoes and everything that we put for about 5 minutes?
Yeah.
5 minutes. This is how it looks. So we're adding some lime juice, maybe about a tablespoon, and adding some cilantro, and leave it to cool. All right, after letting the tomato that we cooked sit for some time, now it's a little bit cooler. We put some peanuts on there that were roasted. We are ready to grind. we just added some water because the paste was way too thick. So add water for your level of thickness. And here's the achar. So I believe Nisha added some water and just balanced out the thickness. So there we go. So one extra thing that we do in our household is like when we are chopping the veggies, we take the peels and put it in the water that we are going to use to steam the momo. So what this does is like gives that extra flavor on the outside as well when we are steaming. All right. A few other things that you can add to this water is if you have some ground cinnamon, you can throw some ground cinnamon in there, just a tiny bit. You can also put garlic powder if you have garlic powder, or garlic salt, whatever you have, just to enhance the flavor. So you take a circular object like that and make circles. Yep, pretty easy. Now onto wrapping the momo. So you take one of these, put some meat on it, and just start wrapping. There you go. See how it looks. Not bad. So we are done with the wrapping for today. This is the result. Like you can see, we are not professionals, so the shapes are all, we have very different shapes and sizes of momo. The goal is to wrap it so that the meat won't pop out or like come out when we cook it. So that's the goal. All right, so this is our traditional momo steamer. So I've got water that's boiling in here. It's not ready yet with everything that we put from our tomatoes and ginger and garlic. So here's our momo, all ready to be stacked. Once the water starts boiling, we'll put that on top. All right, we are ready. So after steaming for around 15 to 18 minutes, switching in the middle, so we are ready. This is your fresh momo.